About that time, there was 2 guys up on the roof with shovels, and I ended up covered with snow.
Inside the church.
Inside the church.
And one of the people that did that might be at this table.
Might be.
We met at College for the first maybe two.
I'm thinking it's somewhere
I thought we
around
were just
the
there
month.
1 week, but it may have been 2 or 3, and then we started meeting at the Y.
Now, why'd you guys pick Antioch?
First Christians.
Right, it's where
In the Bible.
Christians first.
Now, I heard a rumor about this. Somebody told me that it wasn't just Antioch for what it says in the book of Acts. It was Antioch because it would show up first in the yellow pages when you went to
my.
churches.
I didn't hear.
That's right.
That's pretty smart.
That is true.
That.
That beats A1 Christian Church, I guess. How long did it take you guys to put that building up?
We started in August, September of 79, and we moved in March of 81. It was 6.5 years that we met in the Y.
Okay. Rita, you got baptized
Yes.
in that
Gary.
YMCA pool.
Gary and I, yes.
And okay.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know the details here.
It was in
We got wet.
Yeah, it was it was December and it was cold. Like 3 or 4 days before Christmas. And I remember Carice holding Jared. Her son wasn't even walking.
That's right.
This year in September, he will be 50.
Wow.
That's
Mhm.
That's right.
Kind of made do with what we had
Yeah.
Right.
at the time.
Yes. God always provides, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Amen to that.
We made it work.
Were there ever times when you think about God's provision that, especially through those early years, you say, "Oh boy, is this thing gonna make it?"
When we got ready to think about building on 29th, we sold bonds
Yeah.
to get money to do that. I know that we bought bonds. We would cash in dividends off of our life insurance policy and buy a bond. During that time, it was a question mark, are we going to be able to make the bond payments
Yeah.
when those times came?
Yeah.
That's when CEM support started, wasn't it?
They did support and give us some help.
Yeah.
Well-
Church planting in Iowa, they're still operating.
Yeah,
in fact,
they're
they
still
helped plant
operating
Old Line.
today. That's
They helped
right.
plant Stony Point.
right.
They're all the way
Still.
back
Yeah,
to our
they're all
roots.
the way
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
We used to have on the 5th Sundays, we had what they called 5th Sunday Rally. First one of those we went to was at the Old Line Church.
And Chris, you guys have some connection to that
Yes.
Old Line Church, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. That's my husband's home church, Ken's home church, yeah. And those Fifth Sunday rallies were quite important to, I think, the growth of the church, you know, because people could bring friends to that, and it was just a good get-together and a wonderful worship and message.
Tell me more about who was coming to the church. What was Antioch in the 1970s?
A lot of them were the age of this group here.
Right.
Darwin and Brenda.
Well, we
George
were
and
much
Fran.
younger then.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
so
Well,
50,
yeah,
50 years younger.
Well,
Yeah, we were 50 years younger.
now.
Yeah.
You know, God always provided, and our life was totally, we lived for the Lord. And yes, we both had careers, and I can remember Ken saying when he was working, when we were building the church on 29th, he said, you know, that year was really, it was a challenge because he was trying to do his work and take care of the house of the Lord. He'd stop there on his way to work, and then he'd go and come back, and then on our weekends we were there. He said, you know, that was one of his best years.
Gary traveled through the week. He always been out at church on Saturday, and sometimes that was hard for me to face. I thought maybe he should be home looking after his children, but that was fine.
You guys made
Worked out fine.
sacrifices. You made sacrifices, all of you. Of your time and your life and your treasures. It's incredible. Tell me about what it was like to see the church grow.
It was always a joy, especially when it's your own kids, when they make that decision.
I don't remember what that 29th Avenue Auditorium seated, I think 250. I know we thought, wow, we've made it if we fill this. I guess we've made it.
Yeah. A few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, 250 is a big room. Especially when you're
Yeah.
talking about a young church coming
Yeah,
out of a
yeah,
YMCA. That was a
yeah.
huge step of faith.
Yeah.
Generational.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the church. As long as we are teaching the word and you give a child a foundation and you keep nurturing that and helping them along the way and encouraging them, that's what the church is. It's the next generation. We've had so many that have gone off to Bible college and have become ministers, worship leaders, Sunday school teacher. There's one that's teaching in a Christian school. They're all over the United States, and there are some that are on the mission field. So the church is sending forth the youth in the ministry.
From your perspective, why do you think the Lord has blessed over these last 50 years? Because it has been His blessing. It wasn't us.
No.
It wasn't you guys. It was the Lord's hand. Because Jesus said, apart from me, you can do nothing. I believe Him. But if you remain in me, I'll remain in you, and you'll bear much fruit. That's what's happened. So what do you think? How would you answer that?
It's so important, and I think that we as Christians and as Antioch, I think we are always in prayer and fasting to know what God and where He wants to lead us next. And I believe His hand's been in everything that's been done. He's leading and we're following.
I wonder how many of those prayers that are being answered now were prayed 40, 45, 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. If you love God, He instills in you that you do want to love people, and you know that you're going to have a much better home when God calls you from this life or this home. And Ken and I just wanted to do whatever we could to save as many people. And so we wanted the gospel to be spread, whether it was in our community or in the world, globally, and working through a church family is a good way,
From first pastor to the young gentleman we have now, they've remained Bible-based.
That's something I love about our church, that there's no compromise on that.
No.
Ever. If I were to mess around with the word, I can't think of a faster way to find a rail out of town than to mess with that, right? And that's one of the reasons why it's been so easy for us to feel home here, because it's the right foundation. And
That's right.
again, what else is there to talk about?
That's right.
Well, I think that if all the people that should be around this table were here, we couldn't fit in your house. Of all the folks over all these years that God has moved in and through, I'm just really thankful to get to sit with you, knowing that I have brothers and sisters beyond that, and that it continues. And so I just want to be one of many that can say thank you for the sacrifices that you've made. Thank you for your faithfulness to the Lord, because we walk in the benefit of the things that the Lord has done, not just for 50 years, but for thousands of years.
That's right.
And
Years to come.
what a powerful thing to get to walk in something that is not just bigger than a few people, it's bigger than generations. And I love to say this, because you either have heritage or you don't. You can't manufacture heritage, and it is hard to start. But in 1974, a bunch of 20-somethings decided that they're going to be obedient to the Lord.
That's right.
And I'm so thankful to walk in the benefits of that, because again, we see this is something Greg said so many times, continues to say, the best is yet to come. And I believe that.
That's right.
Because the Lord's in it. Not because of us,
No.
but because the Lord's
No.
in it.